Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Tales of Herding Gods based on novel. So let's start. The dragon Qin shuddered as he complained in his heart. However, he still braced himself to enter the mausoleum with the coffins. In the coffin, Qin Mu sat with Xiongqia in his arms. Liu Ruian sat opposite of him, and the two of them looked at each other silently. The atmosphere was solemn. Suddenly, Qin Mu smiled and said, "Master of the House Liu, who is the chief of your Liu family?" The black pupils that were the size of soybeans in Liu Ruian's eyes swirled and returned back to ordinary size. She smiled back at him, "Cult Master Qin is an outsider, so you don't know about my Liu family. I'm its head." Qin Mu was astonished. "In that case, it was correct of me to call you Master of the House Liu just now. Sister Ruian, your Liu family's technique is very strange. When I saw you guys just now, I thought you were all corpses. Can you tell me the reason why you're doing this?" Liu Ruian couldn't help feeling a warmth well in her heart and threw a glance at him with joy she couldn't contain. "Your mouth is really sweet. The people of other clans, especially the men, which of them would dare to be so sweet when they see me? It's already fortunate if they aren't scared to death. Some of those stinky men piss their pants in terror while the souls of some scatter into nothingness. Cult Master, on the other hand, can still have a pleasant chat and call me sister." Xiongqia was bewildered and thought to herself, "Big brother seems to call every woman he meets sister." The corpse air around Liu Ruian's body became fainter, and she smiled. "The technique of our Liu family is different from the basic one. None of us actually had the surname Liu when we were alive, and only after we died did we become Liu." Qin Mu's heart trembled and he cried out, "You all! My West Earth's Liu family has an extremely ancient background, which started when a spirit was born from a corpse. Rumor says that Liu family's ancestor was buried under a willow tree, but soon, spirituality was born in the corpse, and he took the surname Liu. Because we are born from corpses, our corporeal bodies are dead and we can't give birth. However, we have a lifespan, and once our spirit's time is up, our souls scatter. The people outside say that our Liu family is weird and don't interact with outsiders, but they are mistaken. It's not that we aren't willing to interact with the outside, but that we are all spirits born from corpses, so we are scared of being captured to be turned into spirit weapons. When the experts of True Heaven Palace asked you to deal with me, you guys agreed. Could True Heaven Palace have the ability to take down your Liu family and refine you guys into spirit weapons?" Qin Mu asked in a cold voice. Liu Ruian's face changed slightly. Qin Mu laughed loudly and his expression became pleasant again. He smiled. "Sister Ruian, for you to be able to become the chief of Liu family, your cultivation surpasses mine by far. So how can you still be scared of me? Little brother is really just bragging and only knows how to scare people. I'm actually not confident at all." Liu Ruian let out a sigh of relief and smiled back at me. "You really gave sister a scare. What's Cult Master Qin's cultivation? I'm only on 6 directions realm. Can sister be at ease now?" Qin Mu said honestly. Liu Ruian was indeed at ease, but she was still worried about the green dragon bead in Xiongqia's hands. That item was the biggest nemesis of Liu family. When the power of this dragon bead was executed, no matter how strong the experts of Liu family were, they wouldn't be able to contend against it. The reason why Liu family had submitted to True Heaven Palace was because of green dragon bead. "Sister Ruian, who are the ones that came from True Heaven Palace? What's their cultivation?" "The person that came is the elder of True Heaven Palace's Yu family, Yu Rui," Liu Ruian said. "The experts of Yu family are on life and death realm, and they are all extraordinary." Qin Mu nodded gently. The people in West Earth didn't really see cultivation realm as important since 10,000 spirit nature technique didn't rely on cultivation to achieve victory. It instead relied on comprehending nature and heaven and earth. The purer were one's thoughts, the stronger their senses would be, and then they would be even more likely to communicate with the heaven and earth. Of course, the higher the cultivation, the stronger the creation divine arts would be. Cultivation was also extremely important to one's ability, but to the people of West Earth, the senses and comprehensions in regards to nature were the most important. Sister Ruyin should be at ease now, right? Qin Mu smiled. That sister is on life and death realm while I'm only on 6 directions realm. Sister Ruyin, if Sister Rui wants to kill me, you will have to protect me. Liu Ruyin gave a troubled expression and said reluctantly, You Rui and I are friends and I can only assure you that she won't touch you in God Burial Valley. As for outside it, I can't guarantee the safety of Cult Master. Qin Mu let out a sigh of relief and said his thanks. Thanks for the trouble, sister. What kind of place is God Burial Valley in which you guys live? Liu Ruyin smiled. We are at God Burial Valley now. Cult Master Qin, please go out of the coffin. The coffin opened, and Liu Ruyin brought him out to look around. They were in an underground world that stretched in all directions. There were sun, moon, and stars in the sky of the mausoleum, and in the surroundings, there were passageways leading to tombs of all sizes. There were numerous coffins entering and exiting them. A small coffin floated over, and its lids flipped open to reveal a little girl inside. While sitting on the coffin's edge, she said, Mother, who is this? Qin Mu looked over with doubt at Liu Ruyin. The woman looked at the child with sadness, then said softly, This is my little darling. She died with me and we were both awakened by an elder, so we came to live here. Let's not talk about this. Didn't you say that you want to meet Yu Rui? Let me call her over and introduce her to you. I might just be able to resolve the misunderstanding between you. Little darling, stay here to accompany Big Brother. The girl acknowledged her words sweetly and examined Qin Mu with curiosity. Qin Mu didn't dare to underestimate her. Even though the little girl was the daughter of Liu Ruyin, their spirits were awakened at the same time, so her cultivation realm was probably the same as that of Liu Ruyin. They were both great experts on life and death realm or divine bridge realm. He looked toward the center of God Burial Valley and saw a golden coffin standing upright there. It was heavily covered in thick chains and full of yellow joss papers. All kinds of runes were written on them. Who is in this coffin? Why is it locked? Qin Mu asked curiously. Mother said that a god whose corpse has already become a spirit lies there. However, everyone is afraid of them committing evil, so they locked them up. I see. Qin Mu smiled and looked down. Little darling, let me perform some magic for you. After saying that, he took out a huge jade eye. This eye of mine can shine. The little girl looked up at him with excitement. How will it shine? At that moment, Liu Ruyin's voice reached them. Rui, that is Cult Master Qin. If you have any misunderstandings, I don't mind being the peacemaker. The voice of another girl came, followed by chuckles. Resolve our grudges? That's good. He just needs to hand the princess over and the grudge will be resolved. At that moment, snow-white light suddenly tore through the dimness of God Burial Valley before disappearing in a flash. Qin Mu's laughter rang through the underground world. How was it? It shines, right? Liu Ruyin was stunned for an instant. She then saw Yu Rui beside her with a horizontal mark over her stomach which split her into two the next moment. Bastard! The moment Yu Rui died, the whole Liu family was alarmed, and the black coffins opened with continuous bangs. Strong figures rose into the air one after another. There were even a few coffins that opened up without anyone being inside them. Instead, terrifying pulses came from within them while divine lights churned inside. Even if no strong practitioners showed their faces, it was still very shocking. Even though Liu family didn't reveal its full strength, it was still one of the 10 most influential families in West Earth, and so its abilities were no small matter. God Burial Valley was Liu family's sacred ground, so once Qin Mu got rid of Yu Rui within it, the event touched upon Liu family's taboo. In addition to that, the one that had died was a strong practitioner of True Heaven Palace, which would of course anger the host family. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Figures surrounded Qin Mu, and the wind instantly became full of sinister cold. The figures flickered as they stood in the dark clouds, their faces impossible to see. It was hard to say if they were human or ghost. Just as one figure was about to tear the arrogant youth apart, it saw the green dragon bead in Xiong Chia's hands and stopped, not daring to go forward. Everyone stop. Liu Ruian ordered in flustered exasperation. All of you stop moving. She turned her head to look at Qin Mu and saw him stuffing a huge jade eye into his doubt eye sack like nothing of concern had happened. Her daughter was clapping her hands in delight, wanting Qin Mu to do it again. Liu Ruian felt a splitting headache. When she looked at Yu Rui's body next to her, her head ached even more. Her original intention was to let Qin Mu and Yu Rui meet and that's it. No matter if they could come to peace or if they insisted on fighting, they would have to do it outside Liu family's grounds. She only needed to be careful of Yu Rui and not let her kill the youth. As for Qin Mu, the big boy who was only a divine arts practitioner of Six Direction realm, she didn't need to mind him at all. She would have never expected that such a simple plan could have such a hiccup. Just as Yu Rui showed herself, she was sliced apart by Qin Mu, this scoundrel, and he still acted like he knew nothing. It was truly hateful. Cutting Yu Rui apart was fine, but the crucial point was that it had been done in God Burial Valley, which would make Liu family look disloyal. If True Heaven Palace decided to punish it, could Liu family take it? However, sending this scoundrel Qin to True Heaven Palace can still redeem us of our crimes. Liu Ruian blinked while looking ahead. However, Green Dragon Bead is in the little princess's hands, so she can't be offended. At that moment, a fragrant wind blew over, and the other women of True Heaven Palace floated over. When they saw Yu Rui's corpse on the ground, they couldn't help growing furious and shouting sternly, "Liu Ruian, what's this?" Liu Ruian's head began to ache even more. This was done by Cult Master Qin from Middle-earth. It had nothing to do with my Liu family. One of the women shouted at her sternly, "Nothing to do with your Liu family." Liu Ruian, it's easy for you to say that, but the one who died is the elder of my True Heaven Palace. Your Liu family can't forget about shirking responsibility. Another woman stepped forward with fierceness. Chief Liu, if your Liu family still wants to live, quickly take down that Qin boy and hand him over to True Heaven Palace. Palace Master can then consider old affections and not give too much trouble to you. Otherwise, the entire Liu family is probably going to be eradicated and removed from the books forever. As Liu Ruian ground her teeth, Qin Mu's voice reached her ears. It was filled with curiosity. "Sister Ruian, didn't you say that only Yu Rui had come from True Heaven Palace? I thought she was alone. Who are these sisters?" Liu Ruian gave him a harsh stare and sneered. "I said someone called Yu Rui came from True Heaven Palace, but I didn't say that she was alone. I had also told you that a few senior sisters had come from True Heaven Palace, didn't I?" Qin Mu quickly came to a realization and smiled. "I was reckless, I thought killing one sister would be enough." Liu Ruian was furious and said coldly, "Cult Master Qin, now that you have killed the elder of True Heaven Palace and spoiled the relationship between my Liu family and True Heaven Palace, come teach me. What should I do?" Qin Mu rose and smiled at her. "Sister Ruian, I just came from He family and Sister Yi is currently planning to gather all the influential families to discuss how to overthrow the True Heaven Palace Master who only managed to ascend to the throne by relying on a rebellion. She keeps doing things all wrong, angering the heavens and the people. Once Yu family grows strong, your Liu family will be only food for its table. Just Yu Rui and these couple sisters can make your entire Liu family become docile. Since Yu family could kill the whole Xiong family, barely leaving one mother and daughter, aren't you guys worried?" Liu Ruian was frightened. Qin Mu's words were logical. Once Yu Rui had died in Liu family's grounds, True Heaven Palace wouldn't let it go easily. Liu family would definitely be implicated, and even if they didn't die, they would still have to offer numerous treasures to True Heaven Palace as offerings. And Liu family's greatest treasure was their corpses. However, Qin Mu, that scoundrel, clearly had bad intentions and purposely dragged Liu family down with him to fight True Heaven Palace together. However, he said that he was gathering all the influential families for discussion, and this moved Liu Ruian's heart. Yu family held no affection from anyone and had been ruthless when dealing with Xiong family, nearly killing every single person within it. Even though Xiong family had always taken the position of palace master and attracted other influential families' envy, it was still considered fair in handling matters. However, Yu family was different. Xiong family had a population of 1 million people and possessed great power, but Yu family had actually eliminated them completely, with only Xiong Xiu and her daughter being able to escape West Earth. The others were all gone. This wasn't as simple as being ruthless. If we could make use of this chance to overthrow Yu family. Liu Ruian looked at Qin Mu and hesitated. The other experts of Liu family were furious, but there was also quite a number who were thinking about Qin Mu's suggestion. He smiled and said, "Sister Ruian, Xiong family is only left with an orphan and a widow. Even if Xiong Xiu retakes the position of the palace master, how can they rule West Earth with just the two of them? Won't she have to borrow the power of your influential families? If Yu family remains as the head of True Heaven Palace, you guys won't have any say in its dealings. However, the day Xiong family retakes its seat, it will be the day when all of you influential families will become part of True Heaven Palace." Liu Ruian made her decision and looked at the little girl beside Qin Mu. "Little darling, what's your opinion?" The little girl smiled and said, "Since Mother has already decided, why are you asking me? Mother can make the decision." Qin Mu looked at the little girl who looked almost the same age as Xiong Chia and was extremely astonished. He immediately pulled Xiong Chia into his arms and moved a distance away. The little girl was definitely not simple. Liu Ruian hadn't asked the opinion of the elders of Liu family or the coffins who were giving off divine lights but had instead inquired about the little girl's thoughts. This showed that the little girl was definitely a crafty and sinister person who was probably the brains of Liu family. She smiled at him sweetly. "I was originally stuck between whether to rebel against the Yu family or not, and Cult Master was a great help in helping me decide." To the side, Liu Ruian looked at the women of True Heaven Palace and burst out laughing. "Senior sisters, don't worry, after all of you die, we will awaken the spirits inside you. As for whether you will be the ones to wake up, I can tell you for certain, it will definitely not be you. Everyone, send these senior sisters of True Heaven Palace on their way." The women of True Heaven Palace cussed and tried to fight back, but even if their abilities were extraordinary, it was difficult for them to escape death in God Burial Valley. An elder of True Heaven Palace tried to undo the sealed golden god's coffin, wanting to use the corpse within it to deal with the experts of Liu family, but just as she undid one seal, divine light suddenly burst forth from one coffin and poured into her orifices. Her primordial spirit was instantly dissolved and only a corpse remained. Qin Mu couldn't help shivering. The abilities of Liu family were extremely terrifying. If it wasn't for Xiong Chia hugging Green Dragon Bead, it would have been hard to suppress them. What was even more bone-chilling to him was the girl that had looked harmless. Liu Ruian had asked her to stay with him, which had seemed a spur of the moment, but was actually full of pre-planning. If the little girl had suddenly landed a fatal blow, Qin Mu and Xiong Chia could have already been dead. The reason Liu Ruian was able to sit on the seat of the chief was probably related to the little girl. Qin Mu paid no attention to the situation and asked with a smile, "Little darling, what's your name?" The little girl raised her head and smiled sweetly at him. "Cult Master Qin, my name is Liu Zhenqing." "Liu Zhenqing." Qin Mu nodded. The little girl's pure smile could fight with his honest smile. Both could easily make people put their guard down, and so he knew that it wouldn't be a good idea to trifle with her. The little girls of West Earth can't be underestimated. After a moment, the women from True Heaven Palace were killed by the experts of Liu family while Qin Mu brought Liu Zhenqing and Xiong Chia to the side. He saw an elder of Liu family taking a root and tapping it on the corpses of the experts of True Heaven Palace. Their corpses then stood up. It was due to the spell of Liu family which had awakened their spirits, and there were spells of this field in 10,000 spirit nature technique that Qin Mu had cultivated. However, seeing how the spirits were awakened in the corpses was still somewhat shocking. "Cult Master Qin, the spirit revived from the corpse isn't the soul of the original host." Liu Zhenqing looked at Liu Ruian, who was not far away, and whispered, "She's not Liu Ruian and I'm also not her daughter." Qin Mu was stunned and puzzled. "Yet you still call her mother and she calls you little darling. Liu family has no familial bonds and no blood relations." "Our blood is cold," Liu Zhenqing said with a dim expression. "When I call her mother, I feel a little warmth in my corpse body as though I'm still alive. She also feels the same way." Qin Mu looked at Liu Ruian, who was walking over to them, and smiled. The spirits transformed from corpses might have cold blood, but they had human feelings. It was a great contrast to some people who might have warm blood, but who didn't have a hint of human affection. Cult Master Qin, you satisfied? Liu Ruian looked at him with a smile that was not really a smile. Qin Mu laughed loudly and bowed to the ground. Sister Ruian, forgive me. However, wasn't Sister also scheming against me by leaving Zhenqing beside me? Liu Ruian returned his bow and sighed. Yet I ain't as ruthless as you. I have no choice, otherwise, I wouldn't be able to ally myself with Sister. Qin Mu examined the god's coffin and asked with curiosity, who is that in the god's coffin? Why is he sealed? I also saw divine light coming out from a few coffins. Were they gods and devils as well? Liu Ruian shook her head. The elders who had died and were revived over a dozen times have refined their corporeal bodies into those of gods, but they are different from the god in the golden coffin. The god's corpse within it is that of a true god. Qin Mu jumped in shock and couldn't help taking a few more glances at it. Liu Zhenqing suddenly coughed, and Liu Ruian understood. She said meaningfully, the sky is already turning dark, so why doesn't Cult Master Qin stay for the night before hurrying on his way tomorrow? Cult Master can rest here tonight, my coffin will be slightly ajar. Qin Mu's scalp crawled, and he felt a chill go down his bones. He immediately said righteously, I have already promised Poison Master Mu Yingxue to meet her and I've delayed the meeting for almost a year. Time is running out, so Chia and I have to hurry on our way. Farewell. No need to send me off. After he finished saying that, he took Xiong Chia's small hand and called the dragon Qilin over. They fled God Burial Valley through the darkness outside. Qin Mu smacked the dragon Qilins but fiercely, and they left in a panic. Liu Ruian brought her daughter out to see them rushing into the distance, and they couldn't help being disappointed and frustrated. Why is it so hard to find a father with human affection? Liu Zhenqing said dejectedly. Don't worry, Mother will find a good father for you, Liu Ruian consoled her. Early in the morning, Thunder Mountain City was already emanating with medicinal fragrance. Qin Mu sniffed the air and knew that it was poisonous fog given off by numerous toxic substances. He immediately refined a few poison-avoiding pills for Dragon Qilin and Xiong Chia to hold in their mouths. Poison Master Mu Yingshue's city was different from the ordinary cities. All kinds of poisonous grass and flowers, as well as venomous insects, could be seen everywhere. They were raised by the people of Thunder Mountain City in their gardens while the insects crawled everywhere on the ground. Some of the people even reared venomous birds and beasts which roamed everywhere. The houses were covered with poisonous vines from which green snakes would pop their heads out at times to hiss at passers-by. A bunch of big-eared opossums with scales ran past the dragon Qilin, chasing a couple big centipedes that were roughly 3 feet long. The morning time in Thunder Mountain City was very bustling, and shouting could be heard coming from the streets from time to time. God damn it, whose venomous wasp is this? My face is all swollen, bring the antidote quickly. Which utterly heartless person poured the medicinal dregs on the street? My leg is numb and black. It's almost rotting. Who poured those medicinal dregs? Son of AB*TCH, I'll poison you to death. Qin Mu walked through the street of Thunder Mountain City, and there were quite a number of merchants selling the poison they had refined in the open. Their clamoring voices filled the air endlessly. Sister Mu's Thunder Mountain City is pretty flourishing. When Qin Mu examined his surroundings, he saw numerous precious herbs, some which he bought. A number of the poison pills that the peddlers sold were also of good quality and could be used as basic poisons to refine even stronger toxins, so he also got some. Without paying attention to it, he came to the center of Thunder Mountain City, which was the most bustling place. There were numerous circular arenas, and divine arts practitioners who refined poison were fighting in them. Qin Mu stopped to look for a moment and saw that the divine arts practitioners were fighting differently from how it was normally done. There were numerous jars around them and also all kinds of green leaves, flowers, and grass. The two divine arts practitioners would execute their spells and force the venomous insects or other creatures to kill each other in the jars. The winner would then crawl out of the jar to nibble on the green leaves and evolve. The two divine arts practitioners would then quickly plant seeds within it and catalyze them with strange spells so they would grow quickly and bear fruit. The divine arts practitioners on both sides used rhizomes or fruits to feed venomous insects, and the divine arts of all things having spirit to make them grow rapidly, spewing poisonous fog or poisonous fire at the opponent. The two venomous insects would then fight fiercely while the divine arts practitioners would avoid each other's attacks and prepare antidotes. Fighting in arena forces them to refine poison on the spot, and the same goes for the venomous insect and poisonous herb growing, but that is only fair. However, the abilities of these divine arts practitioners are poor and there's not much to see. Qin Mu continued to head forward until he suddenly heard a loud explosion when an arena split apart. A huge creature popped out and took up almost half of the arena. It was a huge spider whose upper body was that of a beautiful woman. It shrieked and shook its body, swallowing clouds and spitting out fog to force all the people who were standing around and watching to move back. Qin Mu looked at it with astonishment. To be able to use of the numerous poisonous grass, flowers, and venomous insect to raise such a venomous creature, the ability of this divine arts practitioner is no small matter. A woman in black rose from the body of the venomous spider, but a black veil covered her face. However, from the skin that could be seen, she definitely had poisonous warts like a toad all over her face. She shouted sternly, "Mu Yingxue, I'm back once more. Get yours out here, for I want to settle who's truly better." Qin Mu instantly became excited and came to the bottom of the arena to spectate the battle. The other divine arts practitioners of Thunder Mountain City also flooded over and created an impenetrable crowd around the arena. A woman said excitedly, "Poison Master is going to make a move." Another woman was also in high spirits. "It's been a long time since Poison Master made a move. Rumors say that ever since Poison Master met Middle-earth's heavenly devil cult master, who is also a great expert on the poison path, the two of them had their first awakening of love, catching the eyes of each other. They even had an indescribable love affair. After Poison Master came back, her abilities in the poison path increased tremendously and advanced even further on the poison path, entering the realm that was so mysterious that even gods and spirits could not predict it. Who would dare to challenge her? You don't recognize this woman? She's none other than the poison expert of True Heaven Palace with the name Yu Qingqian. She's also one of the top-notch figures of the poison path. She had once fought with our poison master for the title and lost. Her face was then ruined by Poison Master." Qin Mu blinked. When had he and Mu Yingxue had an indescribable love affair? He had clearly fought against her with poison, and both of them had sent one another all they had, changing one another into ugly and deformed beings. That wasn't romantic, but it could be seen as an appreciation of one another's talents. "She did give me a kiss though." When the youth remembered this, his heart pounded violently, and a different kind of feeling and emotion rose within him. He suddenly woke up with a start. "Crap! My heartbeat is increasing and blood is rushing to my face. My breathing is also becoming ragged and there's a warm feeling in my heart when I think of her. Could it be the yearning poison that Sister Mu had placed on me that's acting up? However, this poison doesn't seem to be dangerous, yet there's no need to worry." He moved his thoughts to Ling Yuxiu, Zai Yunxiang, He, and the other girls, and that warm feeling instantly vanished. Seems like yearning poison isn't hard to deal with. The youth composed himself. "Mu Yingxue, you don't dare to show yourself," the woman in black on the arena sneered. "You aren't a man, tucking your tail between your legs isn't how you do things." At that moment, a soft laugh could be heard, and green vines began to grow rapidly in the distance. They started at a mansion in the center of the city and were getting thicker and thicker, like green dragons. Large green leaves quickly shot out, and the vines grew even longer. In just a short moment, they covered 3 to 4 miles and came to the top of the arena. Pop! A soft pop sounded out as a huge flower bud grew out from a green vine which hung above the arena. It bloomed and a maiden with snow-white skin jumped out. Before she even landed on the ground, seeds on the arena sprouted and another huge flower bloomed. Mu Yingxue stepped on its stamens with bare feet instead of landing on the ground. With a smile, she said, "Yu Qingqian, you lost to me the previous time and haven't even undone the remnant of the poison I left in your body. The once charming face of yours is still filled with warts. Aren't you just seeking death by coming this time? Yu Qingchen laughed softly. He, do you think I didn't improve at all during these years? After I lost to you and got disfigured, which man dared to look at my face? All of my visiting marriage partners were gone. Mu Yingxue felt some of her sorrow. We who refine poison indeed do not have any men that would dare to come close to us. After all, at the slightest misstep, they would be poisoned to death. Sister Qingchen, we are fellow sufferers that empathize with each other. However, she smiled and her expression became cheerful once more. I already have my one true love. And he is also a poison expert, the number 3 in the world. My one true love has already entered West Earth to look for me, so Sister Qingchen, do forgive this little sister for not being able to accompany you in singledom. Qin Mu couldn't restrain his smile. Mu Yingxue was always this clever and queer. However, he hadn't come to West Earth just to find her. Yu Qingchen chuckled and said, you have a close friend, and luckily, I also have one. My close friend is 100 times better than yours, and he's none other than the Grandmaster of Roland's Golden Palace who has remarkable abilities in the poison path. With his guidance, I have cultivated my poison path to the realm of the soul. Mu Yingxue, you little slut, I will not only make you give up the title of the Poison Master, but also make you die a miserable death. Mu Yingxue's expression changed slightly. Grandmaster of Roland's Golden Palace? That Grandmaster who is known for his shaman poison and soul poison. No wonder Sister dared to come find me in Thunder Mountain City. That Grandmaster sure has some abilities. Yu Qingchen sneered at her. Now you are scared? Little slut, I'll gamble with you today. Mu Yingxue smiled and said, not to the extent of being scared. Ever since I fought with my little lover, my poison path has improved by leaps and bounds, and I'm no longer what I was before. Not to mention you, even if Grandmaster came to find me, I could still poison him to death with a flick of the finger. However, since you have come to challenge me, it wouldn't be right not to take up the challenge. On what would you like to gamble? We'll gamble on your man. Yu Qingchen suddenly raised her hand to point below the arena, straight at Qin Mu, while chuckling. The life of your man. Qin Mu's surroundings instantly emptied out as everyone scattered to prevent themselves from being implicated. He alone stood in his original place. Even Xiong Chia had been brought away by the dragon Qilin. Qin Mu was pretty surprised as he looked at the stage and smiled helplessly at the young woman on the stage while thinking to himself, West Earth's tracking is simply too masterful. I had never truly escaped it. Mu Yingxue's spirits rose and she wanted to jump down from the stage, but she suddenly stopped. Since she was already standing on the arena, jumping down would mean that she admitted defeat and gave up on the title of Poison Master. It would be losing without a fight. All right, we'll bet on my man. Excited, Mu Yingxue turned her head back to smile at her opponent. You merged soul poison and our West Earth spell of awakening spirit, and used the poisonous substances on the arena to refine such a huge creature, which is truly extraordinary. Your abilities have improved a lot compared to before, but I can also use the poisonous substances on the arena to deal with it. Her bare feet gently touched the stamens, and poisonous flowers and grass bloomed along with the venomous insects and toads. Sister Qingchen, you are only on poison technique while I'm already entering the path, understanding all kinds of inconceivable things of the poison path. You thought you had made your move one step earlier than me and achieved the upper hand, but you didn't expect that you had never had the upper hand in the first place. Wonderful things happened, and the poisonous flowers and grass as well as venomous insects and toads started to change form, transforming from one object into another, evolving from one kind of toxin to another. Her spell of creation could be said to be strange and mysterious. Qin Mu exclaimed endlessly in admiration. Ever since Mu Yingxue had lost to him, her attainments in all things having spirits had grown without end. Even her technique of creation had become mysterious and strange. Yu Qingchen shouted out sternly, and the huge spider under her feet waved its claws. The arena wasn't huge, so when the venomous spider that took up half of it started moving, there was little space for Mu Yingxue to dodge. Venomous eggs under the venomous spider's abdomen split open and transformed into tens of thousands of little spiders that covered the whole arena and swarmed toward Mu Xue. Yet before the venomous creatures could reach her side, they suddenly froze and shattered. The huge spider also gave off a miserable shriek before shattering into pieces. Yu Qingchen rose into the air in a hurry while shouting sternly, "I will still come back to find you, sister, in your next life." Mu Xue flicked her sleeve, and Yu Qingchen collapsed into a pile of blood water. This video will end here.